Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So as you just saw that a sculpture when viewed from different angles appeared differently. Similarly, in organic chemistry, we take a compound and we look at from different angles, right? And hence we give different names to each of the projections. Right? So today we are going to discuss about major projections and representations which we use in stereochemistry, like wedge dash, Fisher, Newman and Sawhorse projection. Right? So they are all nothing but looking at a compound from different angles, and I will try to demonstrate them also. Okay, so without any delay, let's get started. Alright, so the first one in our list is wedge dash representation. Now let me directly demonstrate you how wedge dash representation comes into picture. Okay, so let us take one three-dimensional carbon or tetrahedral carbon. Okay, so now I can see that these two whites and these two purples, right? Now what you have to simply do is you have to consider these two in one plane, right? So if I take this as my plane, so if I'm cutting this or putting this plane across these two whites, I can see that one of the purple will be coming towards you, or that is we call above the plane, and the other one, the other purple, will be behind this plane, right? So that's what is simply wedge and dash. The front one which is coming above the plane, right, that is represented by wedge bond, and the other one by dash. So what we are doing here is simply that suppose I draw three-dimensional carbon on board, it is going to look like this. Suppose Cl, Br and I, right? But I am representing this three-dimensional compound with all same types of bond. So what I am going to do is I am going to divide or categorize my bonds into three kinds, right? That is, this one will be used to represent the bonds which are in the plane, right? So this is for in plane. And then I'll represent the other two which are going behind and above the plane, whereby this is called as wedge and this is called as dash, and wedge will be used for above the plane and dash will be used for below the plane. So if I take this compound, what I'm going to do is I'm going to represent two of the bonds in the plane and the other two bonds above and below the plane. So I can put it like this. Simply this is called as wedge dash representation. Clear? Okay, so this happens with any three-dimensional carbon, that if you take any two, suppose I take these two in one plane like this, purple ones, obviously one will be coming above and one will be coming below the plane, right? That's how this tetrahedral shape is. I hope you have some idea now about wedge dash representation. Now let's move on to Fisher projection. Alright, so let's learn about Fisher projection. This projection was invented by a German chemist, Emil Fischer, while he was working on carbohydrates and sugar. He was also awarded Nobel Prize for his work in that field. And while working in that field, he realized that working with big three-dimensional molecules on two-dimensional plane or paper is actually complicated. So to make his work simple, he invented this projection. What he actually did is, he took a three-dimensional compound. So right now I am taking only one carbon. So it is represented in wedge and dash, and let's imagine it to be like this. Okay, so these two bonds, that is going backwards and frontwards, this is that bond. Okay, so now what he did is he rotated this compound a little bit and tilted it backwards and took its projection on this 2D plane. Let me show you. Right, like this. So if you look at this projection, what is happening is this three-dimensional molecule is now projected on this two-dimensional plane, and if you look closely, you can see that these purple atoms which are coming towards you, or basically I can say that they are above the plane, and the white atoms which are going below the plane or behind the plane are actually on the vertical bonds. So now what I can do is I can represent this 3D molecule in the form of plus, right, like this. So let me write it. So this molecule is actually first converted into something like this by just rotating it little bit, and then what will happen, this F will come here, I will be here, CH3 and H, and when this is projected on paper it gives me this kind of sign where I is on right side, F left, CH3 and hydrogen. Now you should remember that how this was created. These two bonds which are horizontal bonds are actually above the plane, right? You can see here also, and the vertical bonds are below the plane. Okay, now suppose we have more than one chiral carbon. In that case, how do we draw this Fischer projection? So let me demonstrate you again. Okay, this is that molecule. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to again view this compound from this angle. Okay, again angle is very important, how we are viewing it. So we are going to view from this angle and I'm going to project it. So one way of understanding the projection is also that I can take this molecule and press it on this paper, right? If you press it on the paper, you are going to see that the vertical bonds are going to become the bonds which are behind the plane. You see, these two are going behind the plane. So if I'm going to project, I can simply understand it by pressing it on the paper, and you can see these four atoms are going to come on the horizontal bonds, and the bonds which were going backside are actually coming on vertical. Okay, one way of understanding is you can see in the video that the compound is first straightened up. Now why we are straightening it up? Just to so that the bonds which are going behind the plane becomes vertical, and then we can take its projection as shown. And therefore if you have this type of compound, first it is rotated and brought into this kind of configuration or conformation. In the more technical terms, we rotate it and bring into this conformation, and then the ones which are going backside we put it on the vertical. And why? Because of its projection, how it appears. Okay, so I hope you get some idea about Fischer projection, how it is actually coming into scene. So let's move on to the next one, which is Newman projection. Alright, so let's learn about Newman projection. This projection is mostly used when we want to study the conformers of any compound. Basically, conformers are those stereoisomers which are created by rotating any group about a single bond. Okay, as you know that if two groups are there attached by single bond, I can rotate both groups freely around that single bond. If I'm having double bond, then if you fix one and you try to rotate the other one, right? Suppose this is double bond and here is one atom, here is one atom. If I try to rotate, you can see the two bonds have to twist, and that is not allowed. So we say that if you have multiple bonds, double or triple, that is restricted rotation, and if you have only single bond, we call it free rotation. So we can freely rotate about each other, and thus we can create conformers. So to study those conformers, this projection was developed. Now let's see how we can understand about Newman projection. So let's take one example. Okay, so let's see, suppose this is that compound. What I'm going to do is, if you have to make Newman projection, you have to choose one bond, okay, between any two carbon atoms. Now this compound contains only two carbon atoms, so there is this bond between those two. So to get the Newman projection, you have to again project this compound, but now you are viewing right along this bond of this compound. Meaning, to make Newman projection, you have to view it along the carbon-carbon bond which you want to draw. So here this is the bond, so I want to look just right in front of this carbon-carbon bond, and if you look just in front, you will notice that this carbon and this carbon are right behind one another. So what is going to happen is, if you look from here, you are going to see only one carbon atom and the other one will be behind it, and thus the other 6 groups you can see. So let me show you, if we project, how it will look like. So you can see, look here, if I'm now, you see I'm looking at this carbon, that is what this phone light it shows you. So if I'm looking from this angle, I can see that this kind of projection I'm getting. So this whole 3D molecule is again getting projected, but now it is looking little different. Okay, and this projection, when you look from this angle right in front of that carbon-carbon bond, that will be called as Newman projection, right? And you can clearly see, now suppose I rotate this about single bonds, and I will be getting something like this. Okay, and you can clearly see that the angle in the shadow between two bonds, what will be that angle? It will be 120 degree, right? Like this, 120 degrees, and all the three bonds are equally spaced. Okay, and that's how you create Newman projection. Understood? So let me show you on the board how you will write. So there are few important terms related to this Newman projections. Okay, let's see in just very brief what those terms are. So this is the compound. I want to draw the Newman projection about this bond, right? So what I'll be doing, I'll be looking this carbon atom from this angle, right? Like this. So if I do that, so this first carbon atom and this second carbon atom, the first carbon atom is represented by a dot, and the second carbon atom is represented by a circle. Okay, and the other three groups will be placed on straight lines which are equally spaced, and the angle between them will be 120 degrees. Right? Similarly on this, now while drawing on this, we don't draw from center, but we draw like this from the its circumference, like that. And if I add both of them, it will look something like this, that there is this first carbon atom, and then behind it there is second carbon atom. From first one you draw from the center with equally spaced lines, and the back one you can simply place like this. Okay, and what are the groups there? So here it is hydrogen, and that's how you can get it. Now as I said that this is single bond, and rotation along this bond is allowed because this is free rotation. So I can take any carbon atom, either the back one or the front one, and I can rotate. There is no issue. Now when you rotate, you create different kinds of shape, right? And there are two particular types of names which we frequently occur, and how do we understand them? So pay attention. Let us take any normal general Newman projection. So let us understand one parameter called as dihedral angle. And how do we understand? So suppose here is one group A and here it is B. The rest, it can be anything. Okay, suppose it is hydrogen. So what I'm going to do is, the first one is C1, first carbon atom, the other is C2. So I'll write the definition: angle between the planes. Which planes? So A1, C1, C2 and B, C2, C1. So B, C2, C1 is how? So B, C2 is the back carbon, and on that B is somewhat like this. So B, C2, C1. So this is that plane, right? So one plane is like this, one plane is like this. Whatever angle they make in between that, theta, that angle is called as dihedral angle. So angle between the planes, this is called dihedral angle, right? So what we are learning here is dihedral angle. On the basis of this dihedral angle, we are going to name few particular types of shapes. Now you tell me, if this dihedral angle, okay, this one is suppose 0 degree or 120 degree or 240 degree or 360 degree, meaning rotate it one complete round, right? In that case, what the shape you will be getting, it will be looking something like this. Okay, now if you can imagine, you will understand that if you rotate 0, meaning no angle between them, they all will be behind one another, right? Like this. If you rotate 120, again B will be behind H. If you do 240, that B will be behind H, and 360 again it will be behind A. In all those cases, it will look something like this kind of shape. We call it to be eclipsed. And how to remember it? Just all behind one another. Right? This is just to understand that if everyone is behind one another, that kind of shape you will be calling it as eclipsed. Okay. The other one, you can see it to be like this. Okay. In all those cases, whatever groups are here, they are behind one another. Right. I call this shape to be AA. Right. A kind of shape. So this I call AA, and this I call as YY. Right. So because I'll be using that in further videos. So AA and YY both are eclipsed. And if I do what? If I rotate theta as by 60, 180 and 120, that is 300 degrees. Right? This. So if you do 60, then this angle will be 60, which is looking like this. If you add 120 in it, so it will be 180, meaning it will come here, total angle 180. And again, how much is this? 120, so add one more 20, so it will become 300. Right? So in that case, your shape will be looking like this. So front carbon can be this, and back carbon will be like this. So this kind of shape you will see. Or, so first one I have drawn A type, it can go like Y type also, like this. Okay, so this shape is called as staggered. Okay, so majorly whatever questions we have, so these four kind of shapes only we find. Okay, the more details we'll discuss when we'll be studying about conformers or conformational isomers. So next we will see sawhorse, which is just a little modification of Newman projection only. Okay, so let us see that. Alright, so let's understand about sawhorse projection. So this projection is not very different from Newman projection. The only difference is in Newman projection we saw the carbon-carbon double bond from right in front, so that they were behind each other. In this case, what we are going to do, we are going to take that molecule and view it from sideways. That same carbon-carbon double bond, carbon-carbon bond will be looking from sideways and little from above. Let me show you. Okay, so this is that molecule. Let me just remind you that when we were looking at this compound from this angle, okay, where both carbon double bonds were in vertical position, in that case we were getting Fischer projection, right? And if I saw them right from front, where they were behind each other, we got Newman projection. Now that same carbon-carbon bond, I'm going to look from side angle and little from above. Let's see how it will project. So suppose I've rotated it for better view. Let's understand it. So see, I'm looking from this angle. This is side angle. And what kind of projection I'm getting? That is called as sawhorse projection. Right? You can look from here that this red and white will be in one plane. So this side, these two are on one side of the plane, that is on the other side. And if I do it like this, these two are going to come above and the other two are going to go back side or behind the plane, right? That's what I was showing. Let me take example from Newman only. So if this is your example, suppose H, H, H and back side H, H, H. What we are going to do is the first one looks like A and the other one looks like Y. So I have to simply convert it. What I'll be doing is I'll draw this bond. Now this is carbon-carbon bond looking from side angle. The first one is A. So draw A. Okay. The other one is Y. So let's draw Y. And simply put the group. So HH like this. The other one also are hydrogens. Done. Now what I told, the ones which are on the right hand side, that is this bond and this bond, are actually on the wedge. That means they are above the plane. And the bonds which are going behind are this one. So I can draw with the dash also. And the other two are going to be in the plane. And that's what. So this is AY. I can draw YY also. So what I'll be doing, I'll be simply rotating this group. If I rotate this group by 60 degrees, right, by 60 degrees. So what is going to happen if I rotate by 60 degrees? So this bond will come in this angle. It will become YY. So it will become like this, YY. So again, everywhere there is H and you should understand that the bonds on the right hand side, when we were viewing it, they are on the wedge and the other ones are on the dash. So this is YY, both are same compound. And if I have to draw it in Newman, so this is also YY, this is also YY. So what I am going to do, first I will draw YY like this, and HH everywhere, so I can simply put it. Okay, so there is nothing much in sawhorse. Only thing what I want to tell is, if you remember this AY, so only 4 types of shapes you can see: AA, AY, YA and YY, right, like this, and you can simply understand from here. Okay, so these are the 4 most common used projections in stereochemistry. I hope this has helped you in visualizing it in better way. And if you have liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and we'll meet in the next video. Thank you.